Worst boss fails recorded on Undercover Boss. Hey everyone, welcome back. Buckle up, because today we're diving into the top 5 most expensive slip-ups on Undercover Boss, those unforgettable corporate fails caught on camera that had viewers wincing and laughing. These moments feature high-level execs trying to pitch in, only to end up creating huge messes, from wasted resources to lost time or total embarrassment. From fast food fiascos to warehouse wipeouts, this countdown covers it all. Trust us, don't miss number 1, it's wild. Before we get rolling, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more outrageous workplace moments. Let us know in the comments which fail shocked you the most. Now, let's get into it. 5. GSI Commerce, Michael Rubin's Packing Pandemonium. At number 5, we focus on e-commerce powerhouse Michael Rubin, the CEO of GSI Commerce, a company that handles online orders for top retail brands. You'd think a logistics leader could nail basic packing, right? Well, not exactly. Rubin went undercover at one of his fulfillment centers, and his performance as a warehouse worker was more disaster than delivery. Imagine an elephant trying ballet in a broom closet. The setup: dressed in branded gear, Rubin tried to blend in with the fast-moving world of boxes and inventory. The task seemed simple: pack orders quickly and correctly, but simple didn't last long. Eager to keep pace with seasoned employees, Rubin rushed, and it backfired. He fumbled with tape, misread product codes, and sealed boxes incorrectly, causing shipping issues. Even worse, in his haste, he ignored safety guidelines, like dropping heavy, risky items. Rubin soon admitted that hurrying could cause harm to others, and that his packing skills need serious work. As order volume picked up, Rubin lagged behind. A watchful coworker noticed the sloppy output and had to double-check everything. They were likely thinking, "What's with this newbie? We're redoing half his job." Every time Rubin misaligned tape or packed items wrong, it caused rework and slowed operations. In logistics, that means lost revenue. At one point, he sent a poorly sealed box down the line and it burst open, products everywhere. A classic fulfillment flop. The cost: so how pricey was Rubin's rookie run? While exact numbers are hard to pin down, let's break it down. Every bad box adds extra labor. In warehouse speak, that's wasted time and money. Shipping delays can trigger customer complaints, missed windows, and lost business. If Rubin messed up just 10 boxes, with labor, repacking, and possible expedited shipping, the cost could easily hit a few $100. Throw in returns and refund hassles, and it adds up fast. Say each mistake cost $50, Rubin may have racked up $500 in losses before clockout. Good thing he's the CEO, anyone else might have been booted by break time.
Units you have so far?
I already got rid of 4.
This is really embarrassing.
The reaction: the crew stayed polite, blessed their patience, though their glances said plenty. One colleague gently said, "We usually pack it like this, let me show you again," which loosely translates to, "Please stop wrecking things." Another joked, "We're not quite Amazon, but we try to be accurate," easing tension while fixing the boss's blunders. Rubin, clearly out of his element, looked humbled. In a candid interview, visibly frazzled, he admitted, "I thought I'd crush this, but I'm dragging everyone down. I really respect how hard this job is. Turns out running a billion-dollar empire might be easier than working packing tape." So while number 5 didn't come with a sky-high price tag, the lost productivity and errors made it a costly mistake in spirit. And it proved something big: even tiny slip-ups can trigger major slowdowns. Ready for bigger messes? Let's dive into number 4. 4. Taco Bueno, Forklift Fumble Frenzy. Coming in at number 4 is a Tex-Mex workplace disaster with a dash of danger. Michael Roper, CEO of Taco Bueno, a popular Tex-Mex fast food chain, went undercover and found himself facing a formidable foe: the forklift. That's right, this brave CEO hopped onto a forklift, and let's just say, the results were far from ideal. The setup: Roper's job was to work in Taco Bueno's distribution warehouse, where supplies and ingredients are prepared for delivery to stores. Disguised as an ordinary warehouse employee, his task was to keep up with the fast pace. First challenge: operate a forklift to move pallets of food and supplies. Forklifts are no joke. They require real skill and precision. As Roper climbed aboard, you could almost hear the suspenseful music building. His guide for the day, Maria, gave him a brief lesson with a look that probably said, "Please don't wreck anything." Trouble started immediately when Michael hit the pedal. The forklift jerked forward, swaying like a cart with a busted wheel. He was supposed to pick up a pallet of taco shells or condiments, but he misaligned the forks and scraped it. The pallet teetered dangerously. Maria shouted, "Go slow! Easy, easy!" Her voice was a mix of concern and disbelief. You could see her clutching her hard hat, bracing for the worst. At one point, Michael nearly toppled a tall stack of inventory. A stunned team member in the background was frozen, hand to his face, likely thinking, "Here comes the queso catastrophe." Maria finally had to step in, telling him to park the forklift and leave before things got worse. Michael exited, face as red as salsa, while the team breathed a sigh of relief that the warehouse didn't turn into a disaster zone. The aftermath reaction: Maria wasn't laughing, at least not kindly. In a post-event interview, she sighed, saying, "I've never seen anyone that shaky on a forklift. It was rough." She admitted it was stressful to watch, as one wrong move could cause injury or ruin thousands in supplies. She might have been thinking, did this guy grow up in a cave? Another coworker jokingly said, "We might have to take your forklift license away before you even get one." The humbled CEO nodded, clearly realizing how difficult the job really was. Luckily, no product fell and no jars of queso were harmed during filming. However, it was a close call. If that pallet had tipped, the results could have been disastrous. Broken queso jars, crushed packaging, and taco shells everywhere. Cleanup and replenishment could have cost thousands. If the pallet was worth around $2,000 in goods, Michael's mistake could have led to a significant loss. And if he had hit a shelving unit, forklift damage can easily cost tens of thousands. No wonder the team looked ready to take cover. In the end, Michael Roper walked away with a newfound respect for the warehouse crew. During the reveal, he humbly said, "I didn't just stall the forklift, I nearly stalled the entire warehouse. I'm really sorry." The experience was both eye-opening and amusing. Watching a CEO struggle with warehouse equipment never gets old. And that's number 4 on our list, a near-catastrophic forklift fail that thankfully didn't collapse the warehouse, but definitely made an impression. If you think forklifts are tough, wait until you see what happens when a CEO inadvertently puts part of his construction company at risk. Let's move on to number 3. 3. Mastech, the backhoe blunder, Jose Mas's big dig gone wrong. Crashing into number 3 is a truly explosive workplace fail. This unforgettable moment stars Jose Mas, the CEO of Mastech, a leader in the construction and infrastructure industry. When Jose went undercover, he joined a team replacing power lines, a seemingly straightforward task. However, he quickly found himself tangled up in a web of massive machines, live electrical cables, and the dangerous task of descending into manholes. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out, quite a lot. The setup: disguised as an ordinary recruit, Jose arrived at the job site, ready to tackle tough physical labor and operate heavy machinery. His supervisor for the day was Hugh, an experienced foreman who didn't know that his new recruit was actually the CEO. Hugh, however, was focused on safety and the task at hand. Right from the start, it was clear that Jose was struggling with basic tasks. When he had difficulty using a grounding rod, literally hammering it into the ground, Hugh decided it was time to give him a different job. Enter the backhoe, a massive, powerful digger. If this were a thriller, the backhoe would have had its own dramatic music and reveal. Jose nervously climbed into the cab, and viewers collectively held their breath. Hugh, sensing Jose's apprehension, gave him a quick tutorial: pay attention to the controls, look out for obstacles, and whatever you do, don't swing that boom wildly. Jose, eager to prove himself, nodded, trying to summon his confidence. This was his moment to show that he could handle the job, if only it went better than expected.
I don't want nobody hurt. Now, if I don't feel safe with you, I ain't gonna let that happen.
From the moment the backhoe's engine revved, it was obvious that Jose was in over his head. The backhoe jerked uncontrollably, shaking like a wild animal. When he tried to move the boom near his target zone, the control was sloppy. The metal arm swayed dangerously to one side, and Hugh's face immediately turned serious. With critical infrastructure like power lines and buried pipes nearby, one wrong move could lead to disaster. Hugh quickly shouted, "Whoa, whoa, stop! I don't think you're ready for this yet." His warning was a polite way of saying, "Please get out of that machine before you break something or someone." Jose, visibly rattled, stepped out of the cab.
Come on down. I don't think you're ready for this yet.
You don't think I'm ready for this?
No.
The tension was palpable, with even a brief hiss, possibly from compressed air or a hydraulic line, adding to the suspense. Thankfully, no explosion occurred, but there was no mistaking the danger. Hugh acted quickly, calmly telling Jose to step aside for the sake of everyone's safety. At that point, Jose wasn't just a CEO, he was a potential hazard and a backhoe. The reaction: Hugh, ever the professional, took charge without hesitation. It was clear to him that Jose couldn't safely operate the backhoe, and he wasn't about to let him continue. Hugh later explained, "I've been working on job sites for 2 decades. I know when someone is about to cause harm, and I wasn't going to let that happen." His actions not only protected Jose, but ensured the entire team remained safe. Other workers who had witnessed the near disaster whispered amongst themselves, "This guy almost hit the power pole. Who hired him?" Jose, while deeply embarrassed by the failure, walked away with a much deeper appreciation for the work his employees do. In his post-shift interview, he admitted, "I couldn't handle it. I was a danger out there." It was a humbling realization for him. He understood that running a multi-billion-dollar company didn't prepare him for the complexities of operating heavy machinery. During the big reveal, Jose sincerely thanked Hugh for stepping in and saving the day. As a token of gratitude, he gave Hugh a generous $25,000 bonus and a well-deserved vacation.
I want you to get all your family, and I want you to go and use my home in the Bahamas.
While the monetary reward was significant, Jose's experience underscored an even more valuable lesson. Safety can't be bought. An untrained operator behind the controls of a powerful machine like a backhoe is a ticking time bomb. The fact that the job had to be paused because the CEO himself was the safety risk turned the usual hierarchy on its head. Normally, it's employees who fear messing up, not the boss. 2. Chikita, Forklift Freakout, Fernando Aguirre goes bananas. Securing the number 2 position on our list of the most expensive mistakes on Undercover Boss is a moment that had audiences literally going bananas. Yes, you read that right, thanks to a colossal mishap at Chikita Brands International. In this episode, Fernando Aguirre, the CEO of Chikita, quickly discovered that operating a forklift was much trickier than it appeared. In a warehouse filled with fruit, he came dangerously close to creating a banana disaster of monumental proportions. For his undercover assignment, Fernando traded the comforts of the boardroom for a hard hat and the chance to join the hustle and bustle of a Chikita distribution center. Picture towering stacks of banana boxes and pallets of produce waiting to be moved with precision. Fernando was paired up with Carlos, a seasoned employee who expertly maneuvered the forklift through tight aisles filled with heavy pallets of fruit. Carlos had mastered the machine after years of experience, but now it was Fernando's turn to take the wheel.
I think I broke the pallet.
Yeah. As is typical on Undercover Boss, Fernando didn't just observe, he dove in head first. After watching Carlos for a while, lifting pallets of bananas with ease, Fernando felt confident that he could do the same. How hard could it be, he likely thought to himself, just before the disaster struck.
Easy. Put it down, it's too high.
Initially, things seemed to be going smoothly. Fernando eased the forklift forward, testing the controls, and slowly getting a feel for the machine. However, trouble began when he tried to lift a pallet of bananas. The load wasn't properly balanced, causing the bananas to sway dangerously. Carlos, seeing the potential for disaster, called out in concern. Unfortunately, things only worsened as Fernando struggled to maintain control. In a panic, Fernando inadvertently hit the gas instead of the brake, jerking the forklift violently. For a split second, it looked as though the forklift might tip over completely. The pallet's corner clipped a nearby shelf, causing boxes to tumble. Bananas, once neatly packed, flew across the warehouse floor in a chaotic fruit disaster. Warehouse workers, who had been calmly working nearby, quickly scattered as they watched the bananas raining down from above. Carlos, now visibly alarmed, shouted, "Alto! Stop! Stop!" His frantic voice echoed throughout the warehouse as the situation grew more tense. Fernando, wide-eyed and frozen, was just able to halt the forklift before it collided with more crates, narrowly avoiding an even worse outcome. The sight of flying bananas, a crooked forklift, and Fernando's shocked face made it look like a scene from a slapstick comedy. Despite narrowly avoiding catastrophe, the damage was already done. Bananas had spilled everywhere, creating a massive mess that had to be cleaned up. Carlos immediately rushed to press the emergency stop button, his face a mixture of disbelief and frustration. Fernando, though shaken, climbed off the forklift and apologized profusely. "I didn't mean to do that. I thought I could handle it," he stammered. Carlos, seemingly unaware that he was speaking to the CEO of Chikita, bluntly told him, "Not everyone's cut out for this. You can't just hop on and go. You almost caused a real accident here." His frank words served as a stark reminder of the dangers of working with heavy machinery. Fernando, humbled by the experience, admitted in his post-shift interview that he had learned a valuable lesson. "I came so close to causing a serious accident, I have a new respect for the people who operate these machines every day." Indeed, he had nearly caused significant damage, and more importantly, could have injured someone in the process. Fernando Aguirre's forklift fail at Chikita certainly earned a place in Undercover Boss history. This near miss, which could have turned into a massive disaster, will always stand out as one of the most intense and memorable moments from the show. And with that, we're ready to move on to the number one fail, where things get even more out of hand. Stay tuned for more unforgettable workplace moments. 1. White Castle, the Great Hamburger Bun Disaster, Dave Reif's Bun-tastrophe. Taking the top spot on our list of the most expensive mistakes ever seen on Undercover Boss is an unforgettable disaster, the Great Hamburger Bun Disaster at White Castle. This massive blunder stands as one of the earliest and most memorable failures in the show's history, and to this day it remains the epitome of corporate mishaps caught on camera. Dave Reif, the owner and board member of White Castle, found himself unintentionally wrecking his own company's product by the thousands. If you've ever made a kitchen mistake like burning cookies, imagine doing the same on a massive scale and multiplying the consequences by thousands. This is the kind of fail that has earned a permanent place in Undercover Boss lore, and it remains one of the most iconic blunders ever broadcast. White Castle is renowned for its tiny slider burgers, and the key to their success is, of course, their signature soft and squishy buns. Wanting to experience the process behind the buns that have made the brand so famous, Dave Reif, a member of the Reif family that founded White Castle, went undercover to learn the ins and outs of the bakery operation.
At the home office. We're going to go undercover.
Wearing a hairnet and apron, he joined the production line at one of White Castle's bakeries. The environment was fast-paced, with machinery mixing, baking, and packaging thousands of small square buns every day. His guide through the process was a bakery supervisor, a seasoned professional who took pride in making each batch perfect. She carefully explained the complex process, detailing the timing, temperatures, and the machinery used, like the conveyor ovens and dough dividers. Even the smallest mistake in this high-volume setting could spell disaster. If only someone had given Dave a heads up about what was coming. Starting with smaller tasks like measuring ingredients and loading dough trays, Dave grew more confident and began operating more complex machinery, such as the dough divider or the oven conveyor. This is where things quickly went awry. The disaster struck when Dave misjudged the operation of the bakery equipment in a way that would go down in history. It's unclear whether Dave hit the wrong button or miscalculated the oven settings, but either way, the results were catastrophic. At first, everything appeared to be going smoothly as the buns were baking, but soon alarms started blaring. Suddenly, thousands of hamburger buns were either overcooked, misshapen, or stuck in the machinery. The entire production line screeched to a halt, with workers frantically scrambling to deal with the mess. Buns were falling off the conveyor belt and onto the floor, creating a major pileup of wasted product. The bakery supervisor's face went from calm to horrified as she witnessed the fallout. On camera, you could almost feel Dave's confidence dissolve into panic as he realized what he had done.
Like he was getting a little frustrated with me as well.
I got it. All right, got it. Let me get out of the way. What am I doing wrong?
And then he kept asking.
The moment he hit the emergency stop button, it was clear Dave had destroyed thousands of buns in one fell swoop. The damage was so severe that the only option was to throw the ruined buns away, meaning the company was looking at thousands of dollars in lost products. In the blink of an eye, Dave had gone from trying to contribute to a disaster that could set the company back significantly. The reaction from the bakery team was one of shock and disbelief. As the realization of what had just happened set in, the workers began murmuring in frustration. "That's like half the day's bake gone," one worker was heard saying. The supervisor, while trying to remain professional, ordered the team to shut down the line as the damage was assessed. The sight of ruined buns being scooped into trash bins added insult to injury. Dave, still in disguise and clearly regretting his mistake, kept apologizing profusely, but no amount of apology could fix the magnitude of the disaster he'd caused. "I'm so sorry, I don't know how I messed that up," he muttered, helping clean up the mess. Watching the CEO of a major company clean up the ruined buns was a humbling sight, and it was clear that Dave's experience in the bakery gave him a much deeper appreciation for the hard work that goes into making White Castle's famous sliders. And that concludes our countdown of the top 5 most costly mistakes on Undercover Boss. These unforgettable moments didn't just shed light on the everyday struggles of employees, they also exposed the unpredictable risks that even the highest-ranking executives face when they step out of their familiar roles. Whether it was a warehouse catastrophe or a production line blunder, these incidents served as a powerful reminder that managing a business is far more complicated than it may appear from the top floor. Running a company is a delicate balance of managing resources, keeping processes in check, and addressing the unforeseen challenges that arise at every level. We hope you enjoyed this dive into some of the most epic fails on the show. Don't forget to tune in to our next video, where we'll take you behind the scenes of even more corporate mishaps and unforgettable moments that you won't want to miss. As always, remember to keep your operations running smoothly, pay attention to the fine details, and of course, steer clear of any major disasters, especially those involving buns or forklifts. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to share more jaw-dropping moments in the next episode. See you soon.